Our next guest comes to us from Langan Engineering, and they're taking ArcGIS and they're integrating it with many business systems. They're also building a family of custom-focused applications that allow their users to perform their daily tasks. So please join me in welcoming from Langan Engineering, Chris Dougherty and Andrew Breeding.
Thanks, David. We're from the Digital Solutions team at Langan. Today, we want to share with you our journey of building a developer team inside of a traditional engineering firm. You're going to see some of our products, some demos, and some things we learned along the way. Langan is a multidisciplinary engineering firm offering engineering, environmental, and geospatial services across complex projects. Langan has over 55 years of experience with 2,100 employees across 56 offices, and we work nationwide and across the world. We all share a common problem. We want to grow our business and help our customers. At Langan, we orient everything we do around 3 key pillars. First, technical excellence, doing things better. We invest in key technology in order to deliver high-quality engineering work. Practical experience, doing things more efficiently. We learn from our projects and continuously improve how we work. Finally, client responsiveness, doing things faster. We listen to our clients, anticipate their needs, and deliver answers quickly. Today, we're going to show you how technology, specifically GIS and AI, map to these 3 key pillars and help us as developers deliver on that promise.
We're a technology-first engineering company, and our philosophy is simple. Build products to help people work smarter and move faster. We do this by focusing on 4 key pillars. First, integration, by connecting disparate systems to unify our workflows. Second, automation, reducing manual tasks that slow us down. Third, we embed everything we build into our day-to-day operations. And fourth, but most importantly, by fostering a developer culture, we multiply our impact.
Now, I'd like to tell you about Langan Projects. Langan Projects is an application and geodatabase tracking Langan's customer engagements going back decades. It's used every day by project managers, marketing, and executives. This is a key way that developers were able to deliver business impact. And now, let's jump into a demo. Here we can see Langan's customer engagements across the world, and we have filters available that allow us to easily filter on key items such as engineering discipline. I'm going to search for client, zoom into Universal, where we do a lot of work, search for a particular GIS project, and when I select the project, we can learn more about it. Here, we can see key integrations that we've enabled through the application, allowing executives to get easy access to important information around the project, things like SAP, our CRM, and our external client portal. For this project, the client portal features subsurface utilities where you can quickly get an overview with a scene viewer and view the utilities below the ground. Although Langan Projects may look like a simple app, this was one of the key ways that we were able to deliver as developers a lot of value and get buy-in from executives.
So let's talk about the pace of change. AI is moving incredibly fast. New models, new frameworks, new capabilities every single week. And it's tempting to try and dive in, keep up with it all, build everything, solve everything. But we found the reality is that you can't. No team can. We see people getting stuck in research mode, evaluating, prototyping, running pilots, but never actually delivering anything meaningful. So what did we do? We picked real problems that our engineers face every single day. And we built focused, practical solutions that deliver measurable value. Start small, pick one real problem, solve it well, and build from there. A good example of this is our next product, Langan Site Analyzer. This was a dev team-led initiative. We saw that our engineers were spending a significant amount of time gathering environmental and geographic data for site due diligence, things like flood maps, wetland boundaries, and compiling reports from a dozen different sources. So we built Site Analyzer to solve that problem. The idea was simple. What if we could put all of that curated geographic data into the hands of our staff? We pitched it internally, we proved the concept, and it became our flagship WebGIS product. But what's important is how it started. The development team identified the need and drove it forward. Not every innovation has to come from the top down. Sometimes the people closest to the technology are the ones who see the biggest opportunities for automation. Now let's dive into Site Analyzer. Site Analyzer originally started as an application to help our staff export figures. For example, this is a figure of a wetland in Florida, but it has grown from one single state to an application that can work not just nationwide, but worldwide. And it can do much more than just export figures now. We can do full site analysis, full due diligence, export data for our CAD teams, run quick reports, create concept-based maps, but most importantly, and one cool thing I want to show is run AI insights. So I'm going to ask if there are any wetlands on site. And what this is doing is going to our orchestration system. It's understanding the question, finding the right agent to answer our agents, querying ArcGIS Enterprise, and then hopefully coming back here in a second with an answer for us. So you can see we have 7 wetlands here. You can see the wetland type. We can ask more questions. But what if I want to add the wetlands to the site? I can do that here too. And then if we want more context, we can change the base map. So quickly and with natural language, we can enable our staff to get a better understanding of the site conditions while they're starting a project.
Now, let's pop open the hood and learn a little bit more about how we created Site Analyzer. As Site Analyzer grew, the technology we used had to grow with it. It started way back on Flex, and then migrated to the ArcGIS web app builder, and eventually to a full custom JavaScript application. Now, it's hosted in Azure, and looking at the application architecture starting on the left, we have ingress traffic coming in through front door, serving as security and CDN. The front end is hosted in Azure App Services based off of TypeScript, Next.js, and the ArcGIS Maps SDK. The back end has a broker in Function Apps that takes incoming jobs, puts them in the service bus queue, and those jobs are picked up by geoprocessing worker nodes in an ArcGIS server auto-scaling group. And those nodes run Python, ArcPy, and the ArcGIS for Python API. ArcGIS Enterprise serves as our data catalog with over 130 registered data sets. And the AI tier runs on container instances using Python, LangChain, LangGraph. One thing that we learned while growing this application is that we had to invest in developer tooling in order to scale. Tools such as DevOps, CI/CD pipelines, and automated testing were important. This type of infrastructure let this grow from a small innovation project to an enterprise product. Now, onto mobile GIS and our chemical inventory solution. We have over 400 workers in the field collecting chemical inventories from various sites. Leadership saw an opportunity for gain in efficiency from this existing process. We were able to solve this challenge using computer vision and AI. We did face design challenges during this because of the disconnected workflows and the variety of devices and locations that people worked on, but we were able to solve that. So let's jump into a demo. Field workers take a photo in the field of the chemical label, and then that gets uploaded, and what we're seeing here is back in the office. You can search for a project, see the photo. Computer vision extracts the labels. You see the products that are present on the left. An AI agent then looks up the safety data sheet, extracts the chemical ingredients from that, and we're able to automatically create a geotagged PDF report. That report can then be exported or integrated into downstream GIS products, such as ArcGIS Indoors, for use in emergency response.
The last product we want to share with you today is Langan Geotechnical Explorer. And this one is pure agentic AI. But what's most important about this one is it was led by our geotechnical engineers. They came to us and let us know that they were spending hours going through legacy reports every time they got a new project. So we created agents that would understand the legacy reports and spatially map them. I'll show you a demo. What you're seeing is geotechnical reports mapped in West Palm Beach. We have an agent that goes in and pulls out the address and geocodes it. So we know the location of each of these projects. But if we want to know more, for example, if we are looking at a project at this site and we want to get the subsurface conditions, I can create a radius of about a mile and select the map. And then this is going to query all of the projects. From here, I can view the combined reports. And when I click this, a bunch of agents are going to start running on each of these PDFs to pull out data. And in a second, you'll see our agents just came back. They scraped all of the PDFs, pulled out the stratum information for each one of these projects, also pulled out the pile recommendations for these projects, and subsurface profiles where they're available. So we took a task that used to take our staff hours and condensed it using agentic AI to just seconds.
So, your customers need your help. How can you, as developers, step up and help? First, inspire. Build cool demos. Get your team excited about the art of the possible. Be a leader. Build, teach, and govern. Solve real problems, and don't forget to teach your users on how to actually use them. Drive operations. Embed your technology into daily workflows. Then measure the impact so that you can tell the story. The bottom line is that we're automating, allowing our engineers to do what they do best. We're saving hours of work and building a culture of learning. You can do this too. Thank you.
Chris and Andrew, thank you. Excellent demonstration.